Hey, YT. Looks like I'm live. Good to know. You won't be needing a Ouija board or a seance tonight. I hope you never use a Ouija board anyway to contact me. It's absolutely not necessary anyway. It's kind of ridiculous. Hi, Chris. Well, we might be alone in here. Pretty late. And I think yesterday kind of tuckered out a few people. I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting anything like that. I should have expected it. I thought we were going to do some healings. But when I saw what was going on with people, the instinct took over. And I just started, well, healer instinct. It's difficult. Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was going to be that way. I got your book, Titan. Thank you so much. And thanks for the supplements. That's really cool. That's going to help me this month. It looks like they got everything in them. It's really going to help me this month. Yeah, I didn't expect it to be that heavy. I'm sorry. But healer instinct just took over. And, you know, when I saw what was there, I just couldn't leave him that way. It just hurt to look at him. I didn't mean it to be that hard on everybody, but I think you did wonderful, all of you. I'm very proud of this crew. Yeah, Titan, you know, we can't do these things when we're tired. And it's just, I couldn't believe that Micah had been mentioning that. I couldn't believe all that pain that Micah was in. And he kept putting everybody else in front of him. And I'm like, oh my God, boy, I got to do something about you. Yeah, that's what our tribe is for, is to look after each other. And I just couldn't leave. Micah has waited so long. And I thought, well, it's probably, I should never assume it's probably just going to be something simple. It always turns out to be complicated when you think that way. And Les had a really bad attachment. We had to do something about that. And that was from lifetimes ago. It wasn't just from that trip. The trip just triggered it. So I had to do something about that. And then I still feel like I need to take care of Etri, and I don't want Etri to be left out. Um, yeah. Yeah. You can see, though, why people charge a lot of money for this in some circles. They get paid big bucks for this. Um, but I never have charged for any of this. You know, I just say someday if you have the means and feel that you were helped, you can donate something, but I never charge. I just can't stand to, I know how it feels to feel alone and like you have all this stuff crawling around in you and you trying to find help with it. And it really, it's really painful. So I just can't, it's very hard for me to not do something about it when I see it. So I'm glad that somebody was helped, but I know people need to rest. It's me too. I did 2 of them in one night, for God's sakes. 2 heavy healings. They were both pretty heavy. I think that's the thing. They were both really heavy. You know, something a little lighter would have gone a little easier. I should never assume anything. Doggone it. What is it up with me assuming? And I am probably the only person I know crazy enough to do that live on online on a live stream. I am crazy. I must be one of those crazy shaman. Hot cocoa. Nobody does that. But yeah, I feel like I have a duty to look after you since I am bringing you this info and you're going to be using it. You can see, though, why the food and drug people would not want you knowing about it. You know, why people are discouraged from it. And how easy it is to be discouraged because, I mean, if you do some work like that and you are like tired the next day, well, yeah, it has some consequence for the person. It's not necessarily a bad thing, and but it's like anything else. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And I want you all to be well rested and healed before we do anything chancy at all. I want everybody to be in good health and feeling good and rested up, and you know, and I was trying to handle that. And you know, I guess I shouldn't apologize. I guess that's what I'm supposed to be doing in a way. I mean, but on the other hand, it's like everybody else was involved too, and I kind of feel responsible. You know, the cocoa is yummy. Oh, I don't think I ever want to call what we're doing a coven. It sounds wrong to me. We're not all witches. I mean, we're not into the Wicca, you know, all of us are certainly not. And I don't really want to put any, I don't want to really tell people what to have to believe as far as God. Just, I'll tell you what I believe, but you don't have to believe exactly the same. It'll still work. So anyway, I'm just glad people are feeling better. And Micah, in Micah's case, though, if we hadn't got to that, I mean, those 2 people, They needed that. Gosh, I just, tribe is much better. Yes. Yes, I don't want people to have the connotations that that has. It just has the wrong connotations. We're just a group of people coming together to learn and take care of each other because we love each other. That's what it is. It's like a family. It's more like a family, and that's the way I want it to stay. A tribe. Yes. Because anything else in your, people think you're a cult. Once again, you go down the cult road. Don't want to do that. Don't ever want to do that. So, anyway, the cool thing is, Titan, I can tell from reading just the cover of the book. Just the cover of the book. I was sitting there and my helper was here. And she's into this stuff too. And how fortunate I am. Yeah, tribe has more of a family feel. And it is being used quite frequently to denote like-minded people. Just a group of like-minded people. Instead of anything harsher than that. I mean, there are all kinds of tribes. They're saying, find your tribe. It's one of the current things is they're saying, find your tribe and you'll be happy, a happier person. It's just groups of like-minded people that feel the kind of closeness you'd feel with a family. And, but just reading the cover of that book, Titan, everything I've been saying here, I know it's going to be in there, isn't it? I just know. You started reading it. Hey, hi, sweetie. How you doing, Bommy? I didn't mean to be disparaging of the long story, but after a certain time of night, if I'm tired, if your story is too long and detailed, I'll never hear the end of it. I'll pass out. It's like by the time a certain hour rolls around, it's like, it's a great, I was amazed at all the detail though. Gosh, it was detailed. It was so detailed. You could walk right to the exact place where it all happened, right? Right. I mean, I was impressed. I just couldn't quite stay awake long enough to hear it. I will. I'll go back and listen to it. Yeah. You thought he was trolling. Yeah, I bet it would probably at first sound like that, like it sounds like a long roaming ramble kind of, but it had a point, but kind of amazing, the detail. Yeah. Hey, hi, Mary. Hi, Marilena. Well, yeah, I listen to stuff all day too. Mostly what I listen to. I stay educated that way. How do you think I stay? I have several things I belong to. I have a couple of online seminar things I go see too. Cutting edge healing techniques and stuff. Learn all kinds of things. That's what the internet's for, as far as I'm concerned. It's to, I use it to improve myself every single day. I improve my mind. I improve my skills. I become more effective. Because there are a lot of these I gotta cut a nail that's getting a little too dangerous. Okay, that's better. And I have listened to him for years. That's one of the reasons I know how to do so much stuff. I've been soaking it in for years. Hey, I want to see some of your watercolors, Marie. I'm an artist. I want to see some of it. Why don't you post some? I'm going to be posting some of my art too, as soon as I find it. I'm still trying to get myself organized. I've lived here a year. I'm still trying to get myself organized. It can be quite a job. Cool. Oh. A little mini marshmallow wanted to stick. Marshmallow mustache. Oh. Oh, okay. Just show some of it. Just show something that's not for anybody in particular. Yeah. I'll show some of my stuff. I'm getting ready to do that. You've only seen, most of what you've seen has only been my photo manipulation stuff, which is not actually my true art, but I'm really good at photo manipulation, and it's fast. Okay, Titan, thank you so much for the book. As I was saying, I can tell by the cover everything I've said about having our own technology, and everything is going to be in there. That we had our own far more benevolent technology. Titan sent me a great book and some nice supplements as well. Yeah, show us the ones that don't go to anybody. And dream well. Yeah. So basically, oh, cool. Yeah, I want to see your artwork and stuff. Hear your music, see your artwork, hear your poems, that kind of thing. All of that. It's cool. Yeah, Titans, the book that Titan sent me, everything I've been saying, it's right on the cover of the book. The stuff that I've mentioned that I think we had a different technology. Yes, we did. It was a worldwide society. Looks like, yes, it was. It was way more benevolent to the earth. Yes, it was. And we need it back. If we had kept up with that technology, we wouldn't be in have the problems, a lot of the problems we have now. But it almost looks to me like perhaps these people were just a little too peaceful. Problem being, if you're a very peaceful society and don't have much cause for war, when ransacking warlike people show up, you're not really very well prepared. But we'll see. Because it seems to me like maybe that was the problem. I have some vague memory of this. Was like lunatic, was like maniac showing up among a very peaceful people. And then I saw some kind of dramatization that tried to portray them as being very sneaky and warlike. I doubt it. If you're doing things in harmony with the earth, I would think you would think of being in harmony with other people as well. I mean, if you care that much, wouldn't you care enough to realize that other people are part of the earth? Maybe we'll have Maria on to show us some of her artwork. Maybe she should come in and show us a collection, get it together, a collection, and show it to us on one of the streams. But not stuff that you're going to give to anybody, but just what you do. We'll have an art show and tell night. That would be nice. I feel bad about not getting to Etri, though. But Les and Micah just had to be helped. They just had to be. Okay, cool. Yeah, I wasn't expecting all that last night. As I was saying earlier to Whitey, I wasn't expecting last night to turn out like it did. But then again, am I ever? I should know. Expect the unexpected. That's the way it is. Okay, so anyway, I've had a lot of interesting thoughts. Like we have a very bright future if no matter what, I feel that no matter what happens to the rest of the world, we have a bright future. Oh, you mean this beautiful cobalt blue glass? It's a Starbucks cup. It was a present. Yes, I love that beautiful cobalt blue. It's one of my favorites. I only found one. I only have one, rather. Somebody gifted it to me. It came from Starbucks, though. I have another Starbucks coffee thing too. It has a mermaid on it. People have been sweet through the years and just kind of, you know, hand me stuff as I go by. Here you go. I have somebody here that, you know, she'll come by every now and then, knock on the door. I have a present for you. It's like, oh, and sometimes it's like a bag of cheese. Well, thank you. I can use cheese. You know, that kind of thing. Hey, Lucid, how you doing? How you doing, sweetheart? I'm sorry I didn't get to everybody last night. I didn't know it was going to be like that. I didn't know. I wasn't expecting all of that stuff that happened last night to happen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I had no idea it was going to be like that. It was that bad. Les had some stuff that was brought up from his past. Micah had stuff that had been festering for a while. Now, it's a good thing. I do want to say, those of you who helped, if we hadn't got that, if we hadn't helped Micah, I don't know. But that was bad, a bad situation, really bad. I mean, Micah had that for a long time. And it could have gotten much worse. And he'd mentioned it a couple of times. So I felt, bad for having, he keeps saying, no, it's okay, go ahead and take care of something. It's like we all do. No, go ahead and take care of somebody else. We all do that. Hey, Cameron. How you doing? Cool. Oh, cool. Yeah, I've wondered from time to time if we're going to see camera on. We're going to see the camera on? What, when you think of somebody and they just show up? It is cool, isn't it? Hey, I'm wearing my so-called ugly sweater, except it's beautiful. It has a deer and stuff on it. It's like a Christmas sweater, but I will be wearing it all winter now because I like it. It's just really pretty colors and designs all over it. Has trees and deer. I just love it. Well, I'm glad because I did put a blanket covering, a blanket healing out, and I think Bomber did too, right, Bomber? And several other people. I mean, I think we all did, come to think of it. I still, thank you. Awesome sweater. Yeah, it is. Awesome Christmas sweater. I'm so glad that people were helped. Yeah, ugly is cute. Yes. Well, yeah, like Titan said, that's one of the reasons we're coming together is so we can help each other because we all need that. But fighting it together, that's what we need. Trying to do this all by ourselves, just too damn hard. And I've thought of all the times I've tried to do this by myself. It's just too damn hard. It's really hard. Sure. Yeah. Let me share the link. We don't have any poodles in here. Thanks. Yeah, I think if we all work together, we can get rid of all this crap. We can really teach it a lesson that's like, don't mess with us. Don't mess with this tribe. We will repel you. We will. We will kick your butt. And then maybe they will just quit and think twice before they try any more crap.
Hi.
You're live.
Okay, can I, let me just see. How do I turn the camera around?
That's a good question.
Let me just see. Well, let me just do it this way and see if you can see it.
Is it a phone?
Yes. I'm not sure if you're able to see it. Can you see it?
I can see it. Yes, it's very pretty.
Okay. I'm busy with the leaves over here. Okay, like you can see this leaf part over here. I'm not sure if I did too much detail or if I should have left it a little.
Camera up just a little bit. We're missing a lot of it. Okay. Bring it out just a little. There we go. Now we can see it. Yay! Yeah, perfect.
Okay. I did the leaf detail, okay, on this side over here.
Yeah.
I think I made it too much detail. It's a bit hard. What do you think?
No, I think it's okay. It will just give it the impression of coming forward a little bit more. More detail, yes. Less detail will push it back. So,
you see, because,
yeah.
What do you think of the bird?
Of the?
But the bird.
I don't see the bird. Hold it back a little.
Let's see over there.
There. Bird? I'm still.
Yes.
Oh, I see it. Okay. You know what I thought that was at first, and I don't mean any harm by this at all. It's a hummingbird, right?
Yes, it's the sugar bird.
I didn't think of it that way. I thought it was at first I thought it was maybe a seed pod or an unopened blossom pod at first. But now that you pull it back more, I can see that it's a bird. So I would think in order to make it stand out, because it would need more detail than the leaf then.
Okay, all right. Okay.
In order to make it, and because the leaf because of the more detail, it looks like it's kind of coming out at you. And
yes.
Right. So because things get fuzzier in the distance. So that's what I do, but that's me. But I think other than that, now that I see that, I see that is really cool that you've got one of the cute little hummingbirds in there, which I love.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's also a national flower, the protea.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, this is a commissioned work. It's something that somebody has asked me to do.
Oh, well, it's a very nice one. The flower is really, really nice. I like the work on the flower. That's very interesting work on the flower. And like I said, I think, you know what? If you play a little bit more with the like the details and the mistiness in the background, that's going to be really rocking. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ocean Mama. I appreciate your input.
I love you, Marie. You're so sweet.
Thank you.
Artists need to be encouraged, especially spiritual ones. You look like you have.
Yes, I know. I've been put down so much since I've always done this work. It's my passion, and I've always been put down, like, no, you can't do it, or you're not good enough type of attitude, or you're everything just to put me down. And I thought this year, stuff them, I'm going to do what I feel is best for me. So this is going to be my work.
Yeah, why not? I mean, do what makes your heart happy, right? And you know what? As hard as some of this stuff is that I do on here, and as crazy it is, I was thinking today how crazy it is. I'm the only one doing this because it is so. I'm doing this stuff on a freaking live stream. I'm really putting myself out there on a live stream like nobody does. Nobody does this. I'm like, holy crap, am I crazy? I must be. However, for some reason, even though it makes me tired, I love it. I love it. You have to do what you love. In spite of
I've got to go. Sorry, I've got to go. I've got my family are starting to move around.
Okay, love. But I'm glad I saw that.
Thank you.
Get a little
appreciate it.
And we'll have you on again, dear. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
I want to encourage that. Okay, love.
I'll see you guys in the chat. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, really, people. Well, you know what? Maria has beautiful smile. She has so much light. She really does. She's so lit up. But I want to tell you, you guys have heard me sing, right? You folks have heard me sing. There are people who try to tell me I can't sing. There have been people in my life who have tried to act like I can't sing. But I'll tell you right now, there are some things you cannot bullshit me about. I think we all got to be that way. It's like, I know what I got. You can't bullshit me about some things. I know what I got. I know what I can do. Well, I don't know all I can do, and neither do you folks. But when you know you can do something, listening to other people, pat them on the head and say, okay, Sparky, thanks for the opinion. How you doing, Ken? Oh, yeah, you're answering. All good down under besides the border closures. Damn border closures. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't really tell until you pulled it out, though. It's like it's so much more obvious when you pull it out what it is. It's like, it's hard to look at art like in the wrong light and stuff. It can be amazingly difficult to see some things through the camera like this until we get the right angle and everything. I am going to be getting out some of my art to show you guys too, so that you have some idea what I do. I don't know if I have anything lying around here easy, but I do want to show you, see if I can get there. The One World Tartarians, the greatest civilization ever to be erased from history, by James W. Lee. This is what Titan sent. And I want to read a couple things. I want to read the back. The Tartary civilization encompassed most of the world we know today, from Russia to China to Africa to India to Australia, New Zealand, and the North and South Americas. They've been swept from modern history books and were likely destroyed in the 19th to 20th centuries, along with many of their amazing buildings. There are numerous documents proving that there were also giants among them around the world, while Black Moors were the Native American people, not the Indians. I know some natives who are going to be a little upset with that, but they may know that already. The people of Tartary were destroyed by the same advanced technology that controls our weather today. They were flooded, firebombed, earthquaked, and likely had directed energy weapons used against them. Many of their remnant skulls and bones have been buried under major cities. The Tartarian Old World Order was elegant, benevolent society. They used advanced physics and sacred geometrical designs, as well as pipe organs and carillon bells, to help and heal all. One of their main creeds was to give back more to nature than we take. All of the architecture and technology we know of today was developed by the Tartars. There is nothing new under the sun. The 18th and 19th centuries were final book burning and removal from historical knowledge of this once great civilization that flourished up until just 100 years ago, before being eliminated from our history books of today. Yeah, so I'm sure it looks quite different in real life. That's exactly what I've been saying about what we had, though. Exactly. It can't have been that long ago, and it wasn't. They're saying 100 years. They're saying in the 19th and 20th centuries. That's what it looks like, too. That's what it looked like to me, too. I'm great at drawings. Some paintings, too. I have paintings waiting to go up all over the house. Many drawings and paintings that I'm not doing anything with, too, and I need to do something with. Oh, okay, Ken. Yeah, that might be too, in order to balance it. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I think even beyond that, Ken, Armageddon happened. I said it in one of the streams. Did Armageddon already happen? It almost looks like it did. The previous civilization was destroyed, and now we have this. It looks like Armageddon. It might have been, Ken. That might have been. Well, it was definitely the final destruction of a lot of Tartarian architecture. I believe the history dates have all been messed with. Merkaba, do you know what a Merkaba is, Lucid? Would you like me to explain? I did mention Merkaba last night. I mentioned Merkaba. In a Merkaba, you cannot be harmed. The Merkaba is, I should do a whole thing on this. It's what the six-pointed star represents. The six-pointed star definitely is part of the sacred geometry. Now you know what a pyramid looks like. Well, if the six-pointed star were a, okay, how do I put this? If the six-pointed star were a three-dimensional shape, that is the shape of the Merkaba. Because the female is the downward pointing triangle, and the male is the upward pointing triangle. And when you combine the two in a three-dimensional form, the male and the female energies, that is the Merkaba. And the Merkaba protects you from harm. And it is a way to travel. And I suspect that's what we're seeing in an orb. Yes. Yeah. It's like absolutely, absolutely, we have been told a lie. Absolutely. And yes, it's all divine geometry. And it goes in here, in this book, it goes into the Tartarians use divine geometry. We should all be using divine geometry. Yeah. Well, they knew about divine geometry and what a battle it must have been. Foreign technology, foreign and destructive technology against. Oh my God. I didn't hear it, Marie. I'm glad you told me. I didn't hear it. I didn't know that. I can't see everything when I'm doing this stuff. It's all I can do to hold the stream together. And gee, last night, see, that's just it. There was this added layer of also trying to hold the stream together and watch chat while I am doing all this other stuff. It's like, I'm a crazy woman. What am I trying to do here? I must be nuts. Yeah, the mythology side of things, which turns out to be probably the truth, and the history turns out to be the myth. Doesn't that just figure? Yeah, Chris, it's true. That's kind of looks like we might be in a matrix or something. Yeah, and Max said it, and I've read it, and I've seen it too. There is actually code to be seen. They have found the code at the what they call the edges of the universe. You can Google this. There is a code. It's like I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I'm sorry, we're in a matrix. And the divine geometry makes sense in that context too. Yeah. Yeah, the giants were being hidden. It's like you could talk about all kinds of things and not get in too much trouble, but you could talk about gray aliens and you wouldn't get in too much trouble. But you start talking about giants and that kind of thing, that'll really get you, you know. Yeah. Well, you know, though, when humans get together, they're very powerful. I think probably the Tartarians got broadsided by psychopaths. They had no experience with psychopaths, but now we have. Now they're in trouble. Yeah, I am not feeling anything at this time around. Yeah, the humans were like grasshoppers. I have a friend, like I said, I have a friend, one of my guides, one of my helpers. He's big, he's huge, he's giant. He's a big giant. Not just like an 8-footer, he's like those colossal statues in Egypt type tall. And he's a good guy. He is not a bad guy, okay? So they were not all evil. They were just what we had here at one point. They're just an earlier form. And the funny thing is, when they DNA test it, it's human. Excuse me. Wow, it's late. 3:14. It's human DNA. Human DNA means they're us. They're not aliens. These are not aliens. These are our relatives, our ancestors. Well, guess what, Bomber? We're stronger than before. And there are more of us. Anytime you do anything good, you're under attack. Bomber, you've been under attack for a long time. I hate to tell you. I hope you know. Yeah. Yeah, we're related to the Bigfoot. I'm sure of it. I'm positive of it. They're real, and we are related to them. They are people like us, but not quite like us. Just a little different from us. Yes. It's like, I am going to do whatever I can to get you so ready to defend yourself and to be able to handle this that they are not even going to want to mess with us. They're not even going to want to mess with us. Because when you come into your full power, you will be way more powerful. You already are. You just don't know how to do that. I mean, fully have the whole, none of us do yet, but we're going to get it. None of us have the full flowering of that yet. But we're going to turn on and activate all of our dormant skills. And then we're going to kick some butt like nobody's ever seen. Humans have got to do it. I mean, I've been told this is what we must do. I don't remember what ball looks like right off. And you know what? Originally, Baphomet wasn't even supposed to be evil. Baphomet was only supposed to be an amalgamation of all of nature in one being. And it was male, female, animal. It wasn't even supposed to be originally an evil thing. But if these things are programs, and I hate to tell you, but the gods and goddesses in this realm, we're not seeing the god and goddess, the demons. We're seeing programs. And the programs that have been co-opted by the virus, that have been taken over by the virus, are the ones that are giving us the problems. You see, because if any of you remember the Star Trek where they had the holographic doctor, it wasn't the real guy. It was a program, but it looked a lot like the real guy. Well, that's what we're dealing with here. We can take the programs back. If we're the people who created this, we can take those programs back and use them for ourselves and tell them what to do. The main thing is never worship any of them. Don't let them hold the reins, because if the virus gets in them, you're in trouble then. I think that's what happened. Nobody worth anything wants to be worshipped, really. The good guys don't want to be worshipped. They have no interest in it. I had never met a good one that wanted your worship. You know what? What entities? Which ones? Interesting. Well, there is some kind of a virus, but is it really a virus? There is something killing people, because some people are dying of something, but is it what they say it is? Here's something that snake oil salesmen used to do. Create a problem, then sell you the solution, which might create more problems they'd have to sell you the solution for, which is what we see in the medical medications today. Is they give you a problem from improper farming methods, from pollution, from unhealthy, this and that. They give you a problem. They offer you a solution, which leads to a need for more solutions, gives you more problems, need more solutions, money, money, money. And you become weak and they become strong. Yeah, pretty much. Honestly. Honestly, we all are, we have to remember we're all people. And somebody did, there's an interesting thing I was watching, time traveler stories, about time traveler stories. I was listening to that. And one time traveler was very surprised to see a time, future time, where robots, what they called very large animals, I think the Sasquatch, humans and aliens, were all living together happily. They were all living together happily. Aliens were playing with a dog and some human kids, and the and the Sasquatch were all walking and talking and just hanging out together peacefully. Yeah, the whole pandemic is about controlling us. It's not it's not about caring for our health. They cared about our health. Would they make us wear the masks? The masks are not healthy. It can't be about our health. Would they be rushing a vaccine? Do you know? Somebody looked up that nurse that fainted, that they gave a live vaccine to live on TV. She died. They found her obituary. They looked her up, her name, her family names. That nurse that they gave the vaccine to live on TV, she didn't just pass out, she died. If they can't. What couple? Which couple? The couple I'm thinking of who have a stream? Right. Yeah. When Chris said, sounds like I'm in an 80s sci-fi movie, I'm like, that's what I've been feeling. Yeah, people are scary wearing masks. Yeah, no kidding, Long Island. Me too. Yeah, she did. She passed away. And they tried to say the reason she fainted was she had a rare disease that made her faint at pain. It's like, yeah, that's the kind of person you want to take the first shot. It's like, why would they pick her? If that was the case, why would you pick that person to be on TV getting a shot? Yeah. Well, Lucid, have you noticed, because I've been on their stream, but have you noticed that there are people who are sounding way more like me now for some reason? Here we go again. There were some people I met years and years ago. And I said, the difference is one day, and they were Bible belters at the time. I said, one day you're going to sound more like me. One day you're going to think more like I do. If you keep going down that path, if you keep looking for information and finding the truth, guess what? Guess what? They sound a lot more like I did then. Yes, they sure do. And once again, here I am, seeing that, yes, other people are finally catching on to what I have been saying all this time. Yes, I think it should all be tested on Bill Gates first. He should be the one on TV getting the shot, but it would be just saline. Yeah, I've been hearing all kinds of things too, but somebody looked up her a bit and found it. Hmm. Yeah, God bless her. Honest. You know what? See, that's it. Cause a problem. Offer a solution. The solution is worse than the problem. Trump even said that. The cure is worse than the disease. Remember when he said that? I remember when he said that. The cure is worse than the disease. That's the whole idea. You cook up something, offer a cure. The cure is worse than the disease. It's to get people to accept your cure, your solution. That's why you cook up the problem. Snake oil sales. That's what it's about. And it sounds like they did that early on. When I, every time, that Credo Mutwa story, that South African, Marie, you're one of the people who should know, maybe have heard of this, but Credo Mutwa, he's from South Africa. He's a shaman. And he was talking about how there's their legends, according to their legends and their understanding, humans were all both genders. We were both sexes at one time. And they talked us into, and we all had telepathy, that the original language was telepathy. And when the parasites came along, they talked us into, they had language, and they talked us into taking language, but then it took our telepathy. The telepathy went away, then people started having trouble communicating because they spoke different languages. Yeah, well, that's one of the things I like about Trump. He can't shut up. He's kind of transparent. I kind of like that, to tell you the truth. Unlike some politicians, at least we know what's on his mind, because he'll tell you. Apparently, we had the mind speak. We had the telepathy, and they talked us into accepting language, and that's when the telepathy started going south. And then we started having wars because we couldn't understand each other. And then they lined us up and made us go through two tunnels. The one with the green light, everybody came out female, and the other one with the red light, everybody came out male. And then they were afraid of each other because they didn't look the same. They looked strange to each other and scary. Trump showed up and what, did he really? What? Did he? Are you kidding, Long Island? Because I would love to see that if he did. If he did that, I would want to go up and kiss him. And I don't say that. It's really nothing I would want to do, really. But if he would go to the fucking vaccine manufacturer and say, "You're fired," Sorry. Ah, oh boy. Ah, yeah. Yeah. If he ever really did that. Yeah. To me, we can't hang our faith on any politician. We can't. We just can't. You know, we can't hang our faith on any one person. We need to be a united people and hang our faith on that. Hang our faith on the fact that the human spirit can uh, survive and can conquer. Yeah, I would love to see. I love to see that. So honestly, really, we have to look at this, if we're looking at it fairly for ourselves, we have to look at this like, okay, we're being right now herded into, boy, my hair is kind of static. We're being herded into something, obviously. They're treating us like a herd and we're being herded. Yeah, we can't quite trust the system at all, really. What have they get? You know what? And people are surprised when I say, well, I don't trust anything they're going to give us. And they're like, well, why? Well, what have they given us that hasn't hurt us and killed us lately? In the past few decades, have they given us anything that hasn't been destructive? Can you name anything? Nuclear power, gasoline and oil, cars that run on gasoline and oil, medicines that disfigure, poison, and kill. Yeah, some of them actually help. Some of them help, but most of them have side effects. And some of them have horrible side effects, and some of them kill people. Quite a few. Maybe that's why we needed him. You know, he's driving people nuts. He's driving the parasites absolutely freaking out of their minds. That's pardon me. That's what I think. I think maybe we had to have him because he's driving them out of their minds. They just can't figure out what to do about him. It, they just cannot figure out what to do with this guy. That's what I can't say I like his personality really. I can't say that. I can't say he's an attractive anything. That there isn't an attraction there at all, but sorry. Well, Yeah, I see that too, Chris. But I think maybe it didn't quite go the way they expected. Well, yeah, trick you into not defending yourself, of course. Yeah, dirty tricks is nothing. They have no Geneva Convention like you saw. I'm trying to heal somebody and they're attacking me. No Geneva Convention. Dirty tricks are just to be expected. Actually, both of them are, if you think of it, Chris. Both wearing a mask and not wearing a mask might be part of the control. Why? Because what is the real thing they're trying to do? Separate and divide us. If you ask me what the real point of it all is, division, divide and conquer. That's what it really is about. It isn't really about black and white. It isn't really about poor and rich. It isn't really about mask and no mask or vax and no vax. It's about divide and conquer and set us against each other so that we do the dirty work ourselves and they don't have to get their hands dirty with it. That is absolutely the worst thing I ever heard of. Palmer. Please don't ever say that again. That just gave me the worst visual. I can't take it. Ah. Ah. Yeah. Well, even at that, I don't think, you can't, I'm sorry, you can't escape viruses and bacteria forever. You just can't. There's only one thing you can do. I came to this conclusion many years ago. And the bulletproof guy, I'm pretty sure, was one of the guys that I talked to years ago about this because I used to say the only thing we can do is make ourselves bulletproof. We cannot stop the bullets from flying, but we can put on our armor. You cannot stop bacteria. You need bacteria. Nothing would work without bacteria. It's part of the little machinations of the universe, of this universe. But William Barr stepped down so now he can testify against the deep state. I hope that is too. Exactly, Chris. You know what? I agree with that. Now everything is so muddled up that if they insert a real virus, a real deadly virus, there's going to be all kinds of people not going to believe it. But yes, a virus is not a bacteria. There's so many cross and double cross things going on here. Like I said, there's only one thing we can do is become so strong. And it's the one thing they really don't want us to do is become so strong that it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, I know people right now. Finally. It's taken quite a while, but now I finally know somebody who is dying of it, but they are old and had a pre-existing condition of Lou Gehrig's. And I do know somebody else who has actually succumbed. Once again, though, they were old. However, I hear that the new strain is young people. It doesn't spare young people. So, yeah, they've already released a new one. Once again, if you have your full Merkaba field working, you cannot be harmed. That is what I have been told by. Look at the masters. They do not fear these things. The masters can fly, they say. Yes, all of our old abilities, they have them. If we had, isn't it funny? Is Sasquatch afraid of the virus, you think? You know what I think? I think it has mutated and become weaker. And I also think that they had to put a new strain out for that reason. They had to put a new, stronger strain out because the other one wasn't. They've been actually working on a stronger strain. Yep. Well, but see, I've been intending that it mutate into a less harmful form. I'm going to keep intending that everything they put out mutates into a less and less harmful form. And so far it's been working, but I am really sorry that you have seen many children who've died of it. And where was this? Yeah, to be like the masters, and we don't have to worry about this crap. They're not one bit worried about any of this, I guarantee you. I guarantee you the Tibetan masters have absolutely not one to give about this, because they know that they're not going to be affected. And if we can get to that point, but that's going to take some work. Even before we get to that point. Yeah, we needed, well, you know what? China wouldn't let us, though, learn from it. Here's one thing that I do have to say. CCP, the Chinese people are not bad people. CCP, poison. Just poison on legs. I don't know, Cameron. Fae composed of night. Very poetic. Fae composed of night jump behind my table. Wonder if they're hunting the beetle that came in my room. Yeah. Well, China's been buying up land. I think China's playing a giant game of Go. Go is a game where there's two colors, black and white. And oh boy, the Masonics love that. And it's very commonly played in Asia. And it's not about how many pieces you have on the board. It's about how much real estate your pieces encompass. What if they're playing a giant game of Go? What if that's what they're really doing, seeing how much they can encompass? And then from there, you just come at the people from all sides. Actually, I knew a lot about China, though. I got to say, I did. And I didn't like it. All the way back during Clinton's time. Sorry to say, didn't like it. It's communist China. Communists. They're not nice people. They euthanize their own freaking people and chop them up. I heard about this ages ago. I'm sorry, Chris, but I heard about all of the evils of the CCP years ago. But then again, I'm not everybody. They basically, Soylent Green, they're living in hell over there. They're in hell. They're already in hell. But we're not everybody, Chris. You mean in the common news? Well, now they can scare people with it, and fear is the point. Terrify people, depress their immune system. Anxiety and terror will depress your immune system. Right. They have been buying it up, and people have been selling it to them like idiots. Right. There are stores you can't shop in, class levels you can't marry out of, and then they have the social credit system. Yep. Things you can't say, things you can't do. Plenty of lockdown. And people during the pandemic were actually being welded into their rooms, welded into their apartments, so they could not come out with a screen over it. Yeah, it's not trivial at all. It's been going on a long time. Organ harvesting from political prisoners. Been going on a long time. It's pretty horrible. From people who did investigate it, and in the spiritual communities, it became more well known because it was the Falun Gong practitioners. I know a Falun Gong practitioner. Those are the political prisoners they are harvesting organs from, and have been for years now. For a long time, they have been doing this. When that news finally got out, we should have done something, but we didn't. It should have. But once again, people couldn't believe it. It was too horrendous. Yeah, testimonials. Sorry. Oh, how cute, Cameron. Well, I'm not going to argue about it. I just know that the Falun Gong practitioner certainly was glad to be in America and not there. Well, they got us to believe in all that history in the history books, didn't they, Chris? They got us to believe the history in the history books, so you're right about that much. Well, tell you the truth, I haven't been to China, but I do know people who have been. They don't have any political reason to tell me lies. I know somebody who's gone there every year until this year. So, yes, it does. Yeah, and they're so glad not to be. There are people who would do anything. I've seen it too. I accidentally saw some things I wasn't supposed to see. There are people who would do anything to escape China. Anything. I can't say more. It's horribly polluted, you know. Way more polluted than we are, and that's kind of obvious. I mean, the woman who started a movement because her child, her baby, came up with cancer that young. She realized the air pollution was so bad, so she started a movement. But honestly, well, whatever you want to believe. No, you're fine, Marie. There are people here. My friend Paul knew somebody who was a breatharian. His clothing was Tartarian looking. He dressed in, it was all threaded with silver and gold. I can't help but think maybe there was a reason they had all these clothes that were threaded with silver and gold. That would be EMF blocking, you know. That would block EMF. Maybe they knew something about that. Maybe there were still some EMF issues in that world. But he dressed in strange clothing, and he was a breatharian. He didn't eat or drink anything. He didn't have to eat or drink anything. And he lived with Paul for several days, and Paul saw him not eating or drinking anything. And he was visited several times. So, yeah, and that does change things. You haven't said too much. That's stuff I mostly knew. I mean, about how it changes you. That's so cute. So you've got tiny, tiny people in your tree. That's cute. I don't know what to tell you, Chris. Maybe it always bears more study, of course. We can't be 100% sure what's going on anywhere without seeing it for ourselves. It's one of the reasons we're learning to remote view is so that we can see it for ourselves. Because we're not really allowed to travel right now to see anything for ourselves. So there's only one way we're ever going to see anything or know anything, is we're going to have to do it the old way, the really old-fashioned way. I've already checked it out, Bomber. We know somebody who's a confirmed breatharian. Like I just was explaining, my friend Paul knows breatharian. And the breatharian has visited his house many times. And several times, not many, but several. And you can learn to do that. However, most people do it wrong, and then they get themselves in trouble. It's another one of those things that you have to be trained. You can't just stop eating and think that's going to work. Nope, I'm not sure I really want to be a breatharian. I'm not sure I really want to. I like eating food. I'm sorry. I still like the taste of food. I like cooking. You know what I heard is the principal complaint. I actually have known more than one breatharian. The principal complaint and why a breatharian turned back into an eater was we have so much social stuff wrapped up in food that being with your family and being a breatharian is really a drag. You go to family outings and, family events. We have so many things wrapped up with eating that being the only person there not eating is really a drag. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd want to be a breatharian, although it would be handy. If things get scarce and everything, it would be very handy. Oh, heck, done it for the longest. Yeah, Sally Tom was quite old last we saw of him. Actually, for the last few years, we don't know what happened to Ellie Tom, but he was old. So he lived to be quite old with it. Yeah, it's hard to tell if that, it's hard to tell. Or was that more disinformation? Who knows? I could also argue that's disinformation. We could argue anything's disinformation. We could argue forever, but arguing's not going to fix it. Once again, it comes back to what do we do to make ourselves strong enough that it doesn't matter what other people are doing. It's all you can hope for. But I don't think it's going to be breatharianism. I don't think that's going to be the answer. No. Can't prove a damn thing either way. And I don't really care. I'm not going to be a breatharian. So I don't really give a damn. I'm sorry. I don't care. But it's interesting to hear about. My friend Paul is completely convinced, but he wasn't over at my place. He was over at Paul's. Yeah, dressed in night. It's very poetic. It's interesting to hear about. I I can't say I really care. I'd like to learn to fly though. That would be fun. Oh, past 11 a.m. You know what? It's 4:01 p.m. It's 4:01 a.m. here, Marie. So, I love you, dear. Thank you for coming. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Big hugs. I know some of it is just like I sit there and I go, what the? Okay, whatever floats your boat, folks. But I do know that this Eugenia person who is starving herself, she looks like a stick figure. Oh my God. She looks like she's going to die any minute. She literally looks like an Auschwitz victim. Well, you can last for a long time. I know that there was a person who I saw the video. She kept track of it. You know how they would fast for 40 days and 40 nights in the Bible? Well, somebody was very religious and they did that. And she'd lost a ton of weight, a lot of weight in those 40 days. I mean, she looked like she was half of herself. And she lasted. She lived through it. But I am wondering what she looked like a year later. Because usually when you do something like that to yourself, as soon as you start eating again, you bulk up like nobody's business. Yeah, it's very strange. This last thing I saw of her, though, really was the thinnest I've ever seen her. And she looks like she's about to die. Now, the funny thing is, they try to hook diabetes up with overweight. I'm overweight, but guess what? I don't have diabetes. I don't do the things that give you diabetes. So I won't have diabetes. However, Eugenia is diabetic. Eugenia's diabetic. She's thin as a rail. Literally, she's a pipe cleaner girl. And starving herself, and she's diabetic. Well, la-di-da. What can I do about it? Nothing. Yep. Water is another thing, though. But you know what? Damon T. Berry said he read in the Bible that, and to him it was no food or water, and he had been going for a week solid with no food or water. And I'm there like, dude, how did you manage to do without water? And then he said finally and then after 2 weeks, I'm like, whoa, no water pardon me. My sinuses, I'm going to have to eat something hot to clear my sinuses now. Yeah, she is scary looking though. I mean, I have a vegan friend who caught sight of her and she's like, I'm never going to look like that. And I said, I hope not. Jeez. I mean, thin is one thing. I mean, you can be naturally thin. And that's one thing. But my God, it looks like she's trying to look like a pipe cleaner figure. I don't know why you would think that was pretty, but she's got armpits that are literally caverns. It's scary. Oh, yeah. Yeah, eventually if you eat a bunch of junk, you're going to be diabetic. Yeah, she looks like a gray alien. If you paint her gray, she'd look pretty much like a gray alien. A great big face. But she probably, people say she uses Botox and stuff. So she's artificially pumping her face up. Cameron, really? Somebody gave you a bunch of weed? You might want to ask. Yeah, you might want to ask. Yeah, she's like a real life anime character, and now she's a skeleton, and it's so disgusting. And she's encouraging. Now, you know, if it was just her, it'd be one thing. But she's encouraging other people to be like that, especially young kids. There are kids that want to be like that. And I'm like, oh God, does nobody see how scary that is? Oh, cool. Well, I got to make friends with them then. Did I tell you the story about how when I first moved into my old place, how the Fae greeted me? I think I told the story on stream, but I don't know if you heard it. When I first moved into my old place, I had a futon. That's about all I had as far as furniture. I had a futon, and I was sleeping face down on my stomach. And all night, I had a dream that there was a party going on at my place. And this was at Halloween. And so all night, and it seemed like there were a lot of people in my place, and there was this big party. And then I woke up, and in that first few seconds that you wake up, I look around, and my place had been completely graffitied with spray paint, bright colors everywhere. And I'm like, my landlord's going to kill me. And then I looked down at the ground right where my eyes would be, because they knew I would be looking there, and it said Happy Halloween. Then it all disappeared. Poof. Oh, yeah, that was how they greeted me. Oh. Yeah, they like me. They used to help me take care of my garden. Although I didn't see them, I could tell that I was getting help. And so are the bees. Bees were friends, good friends of mine. And they would help me take care of my garden, and I could talk to them. And the spirit of the honeybee is very sweet, actually. Literally, very sweet. And so we had a good relationship. And to this day, I have a hard time killing a bee. I'd rather let them out or just do something else. I don't want anything to do with killing bees. But, oh, there's a couple who are pregnant doing that. Starving themselves with junk food and just eating some junk. You know what? I knew a girl like that, and it was like down in southern Ohio. I'll move this camera over and lean this way more. And all she would eat, literally, she was thin as a bone. All she would eat, literally, was she would get Kraft macaroni and cheese dinners, those little things that you can get for 25 cents some places, or $1. And she would mix up the cheese part with some water and dip some chips into it, some corn chips in it, and eat that. And that was all she'd eat. I'm like, girl, don't you want to eat something nutritious? It's like, no. And her husband was like, nope, that's all she eats. You know, well, she's young, so she was fine at the time. But she was very young. Then you get older. Oh, breatharianism while pregnant. Oh, good Lord. Oh, boy. Well, like I said, it ain't gonna be me. Yep. Nope. I ain't signing up for it. Oopsie. That last little bit of chocolate just had to get out. Had to run away. Run away, run away. Probably got it all over this dress and everything. Just a drip. Just a drip. Anyway, it's like the quail. No, it's COVID. Breatharianism while pregnant. Not eating while you're pregnant. You know, they encourage that for a while, don't you? They would encourage women to go on a diet while they were pregnant. Then they'd have under birth weight children, too. Quail. I have never had quail. $12 to 15 kinds of quail? I don't even know if I've ever seen a quail. Yeah, I wouldn't. And then I had a cousin. She was another one of these very, very, very thin people. And there was only one thing she would eat. She would eat Jell-O. That was it. Different flavors of Jell-O. They couldn't get her to eat anything else. And well, it's straight up hot chocolate, I guarantee. It's hot chocolate. Look like blood? Hey, they did that in the old movies. They used Bosco for blood because it was black and white and you couldn't tell. You know what else? Is you could do that if you use different lighting. You could use stuff like that because honestly, there's lighting that will make it look like it's blood even though it's just Bosco. So it depends on the lighting. Like if you have red lighting or green lighting, it'll look like blood regardless because of the way it streaks. I don't think I've ever had quail. Like miniature chickens? Interesting. Yeah, strange. Strangely enough, they would use Bosco for the blood and Hammer film in the black and white. Yeah, it was. just because it was the right viscosity. Mm-hmm. Oh, they had to be a little different and use Hershey's in Psycho. Well, that could be. But yeah, if Alfred Hitchcock ever comes back, I'll in my realm, I'll ask him if that was true. But yeah, at the time, Bosco was the, and I suppose you could use Hershey syrup too, but really, chocolate syrup is apparently looks like blood under certain lighting, and it does the trick just really well and tastes a whole lot better too. And it's even kind of sticky, like blood. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. They probably did look like blood because I have this purple light on. That is weird. Yes, I guess it would. Yep. Apartment chickens. Foul odor. Yeah, chickens can smell too. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. Oh boy. Yep, they can. Raspberry reduction sauce. And that's what you know of quail. I guess you liked quail too. Yeah, sounds like it would probably be pretty good. Oh, something's clogging up my sinuses. I'm gonna have to have probably the weather change. I'm gonna have to eat something with horseradish in it, and then I'll be fine. You know, it's a funny thing. No wonder we're afraid when people say they love us sometimes, you know. Oh, I love quail, and they sound delicious too. What do we do to things we love? Oh, that sounds good. I never had one though. Like tiny chickens. I'm sure she appreciated that. I had a bird that was a snuggle bug too, a robin, who had been out of its nest and wasn't quite old enough to fly yet, that I nurtured a while. And then finally, when it did fly, I had to let it fly away. But it sang to me all night. It sang to me all night the night that it flew away. Sat out in a branch by my room and sang. like to sit on my shoulder and cuddle up in my hair, just like my snake. My snake liked to cuddle up in my hair and tickle my ears. Little garter snake, cute little thing. Such a sweet little snake, and not a violent bone, not a in its body, except when it was hunting for dinner. Antidepressants are bad. They contain fluoride. Did you know that? They had me on them for a while. I went off them. I told them I'd rather do it natural. And the worst part about antidepressants, they can make you suicidal. What kind of a trait is that? I reiterate, what have they given us lately that hasn't been designed to kill us? You're giving me, you see these things advertised all the time that the side symptoms are way worse than the disease you're taking them for. I'm depressed. Give me something that will make me suicidal, please. You mind? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I know. And it contains a lot of fluoride, and that works against your pineal gland. Yeah, and they give you all kinds of side effects. And as soon as I figured that out, I said, no, I'm going to do this some other way. Thank you. And then they would ask me about lethality, and I would say, well, as far as lethality, which is what they call it when you might be at a risk of suicide, I said, I've already been to the other side, and although I'm not afraid of it, I know that it isn't going to do me any good to do a suicide. Suicide would never do me any good. I already know that. So, no, there is no danger of lethality. It doesn't do you any good. You just, whatever it is you were trying to learn from being that depressed, from being in that situation, you're going to end up putting yourself right back in there to try and learn it the next time because you wanted to learn that, and then you didn't do it. You didn't follow it through, and now you're having to do it all over again. It's like repeating a year of school. Yeah, I haven't had a vax in maybe 30 years now. See, for me, Prozac didn't do a damn thing. Good. Didn't do anything good at all. Just made me feel kind of sick. Maybe some people actually need it. It's just, does everybody actually need it? Because they're trying to give it to everybody. That's the problem. But does everybody really need it? No. Yeah. And there are things like St. John's wort for anxiety, but it only works a bit. You know what? CBD does work good for anxiety, though. The gummies, boy, they work good. Almost killed your neighbor and your cats? Wow, that's scary. I had plenty of stress and anxiety, but I quit because I was so sick. And it was so cold. I was really, really sick with the flu, and it was so freaking cold out. I didn't want to go outside. So I said, okay, I'll just hunker down this 4 days. And if I get through it, then maybe I'll be done with smoking. And sure enough, it worked. Oh, bad genetic interaction. Mm. And everybody lived. Oh dear, bummer. Just remind me about that. Yes, CBD gummies are great. Yeah. Yep. I think really that's what they need to prescribe. Yeah, well, you know, yeah, you need to have somebody you trust that you're dealing with. Oh, really? Yeah, I have never thought of killing. Isn't that weird? Never thought of killing any of the animals, but people. Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, honestly, I got some eye life. I can't tell it doing anything. I haven't noticed anything from it yet. I don't know. I haven't noticed anything. And then I believe it was Lucid that was saying she didn't notice anything when she took it either. Eye alive, not yet. Some people, it does really well. They do really well with it. Other people don't notice very much. Well, I don't know. Some people it seem to do really well. Oh God. Yeah. So I'm sorry, but I cannot tell you much about eye life. I cannot say much about iLife except I'm not seeing anything different yet. Well, I don't want to say anything cruel about anybody's labor, what they're making money. But yeah, I hate to say there may be something of a placebo in there. Yeah, I was thinking, well, even the placebo effect would be better than nothing. Root? Yeah, the coconut oil's good for you. But here's the thing about that. That doesn't make quite sense either, because coconut oil is not liquid until it hits about body temperature. I mean, if this was coconut oil, how would it stay a liquid in cold conditions? And it's fairly cold where I have it. How is it a liquid still? So I don't understand that. So I don't quite understand how it can be coconut oil either, but it could be that it's mixed with the, I don't know. Anyway, hate to say anything bad about it, about somebody. I mean, they're trying to change things and they're doing their thing, and don't want to say anything bad about it. But yeah, I'm not, it's too bad because that was $60. But what I couldn't believe is they spent $100 on a supper for New Year's. I guess that's not real unusual. But somebody gave them some kind of thing to spend on themselves, and they spent $100 just to get dinner. Kind of weird, but yeah, I don't know. Last time I went out with somebody and it was $100. That was at Brennan's down in New Orleans. Oh, coconut oil is wonderful for cooking. It'll really give the finishing touch, and if you're making anything and it tastes good, put a little coconut oil in, it'll taste even better. Yeah, coconut oil, well, I don't get how it's a liquid. Well, it's supposed to be what it's supposed to be for. I have. And, well, I'm not going into that anymore. I don't know what's going on with that, but it's nice nutritional value in spite of that. I don't know. Oh, fractionated. Uh, yeah, it was made to help her. Right, if somebody's going to buy it for you. But remember, they didn't stay at Trump Tower. They went back to the Luxor. Freeman gave him $1,000 to stay, to do their thing there. And they didn't go to Trump Tower. They went to the Luxor, back to the Luxor again. I've been keeping an eye on them. So, hey, it's whatever you want to do. I know there's so much I could do with that money. But hey, it's what you want. You do what you want with your money. Yeah, they were going to do Trump Tower, but then at the last minute they decided no. Yeah, I did. I did, Lucid. Well, the thing is, I have seen very drastic and sudden changes with natural substances, though. The monatomic gold, right away. I felt something immediately. The muscle restore, which is, I forget what it is, but it's something that was supposed to be in our food that we're not getting in our food. That was right away. That's just a supplement. So a lot of these natural supplements, I do feel them right away. But I don't know. Like I said, I have 2 bottles to find out. Yeah, well, I don't agree with everything. I can't agree with everything. However, they're trying to do something good in the world. And I think they have done some good. So, I'm down with that. I'm down with anybody trying to do any kind of good in the world. And obviously they're very sincere about it. So, I'm good with that. One thing is, they do know about the same place I know about. So, I have to pay attention to that. Olive leaf made you dream wild. Half the dream was in French. Ooh la la. Well, let us know. Yeah, I'm still calling them sister and brother. Um, Oh yeah, when he's going, I don't know, babe, I don't know, but yeah, so, we fucked up, we fucked up, uh, or something, whatever it was. Yeah, it is. You know, camera. I'm calling him camera. Cameron. Have sweet dreams, Cameron. Have have good dreams. Good night. Oh, feed your Bruno doggy. He's such a sweet pup. Yeah, nettle and some shaga. You know, I had a friend who was living right down where there were some medicinal mushrooms being grown. She didn't send me any. Okay. Well, Lucid, I can kind of see how you'd feel that way. Yes. May the force be with you too. Yeah, nettle. Nettle is good. Horsetail. Well, I'm going to be closing this down fairly soon. Yeah, you could just pick it if it's growing. Dogs are like that, Ken. I think I'm going to close it down pretty soon because it's 4:43 a.m. and I came in just to say hi and chat a little bit with you because you are like family to me and I love you all. I don't agree 100% with anybody about anything, but I respect all of your opinions. I respect all of your opinions because I know where they're coming from, where you're coming from. So, one of these days we will know, maybe. But for right now, what do we know? What can we know without direct experience? Not much. Which is why it's important to learn to be able to see for ourselves so we don't have to rely on people to tell us. Yeah, it's not a bad. I've got that too. You can see a lot of good movies on there, and it's not TV. Yeah, we don't jump on each other's case. You know what? I don't have to worry. If we disagree about something, I know you're not going to like jump down my throat about it, and I'm not going to jump down yours. Yeah, I change my opinion as I get new information. I think that's important, you know. Yeah, and we've already been on for nearly 2.5 hours. I thought I was going to be on here for maybe an hour, but we get it rolling along. We just roll along. Yeah, my opinion keeps changing too. It's like, well, I guess that's supposed to. I really think it's supposed to. If you ask me, I think you should be able to change your opinion and be able to roll with it. Not, I mean, otherwise, if you're just hanging on to an opinion just to, it's an ego thing. Just because you want to be right, it's an ego thing. Yeah. And the very smartest people go, I don't know anything. I don't know. The more you know, the more you realize you don't know shit. There's so much more to know that every time you get a question answered, you get like 50 more questions. It's like, it's like, well, that answers that question, but it raises so many more questions. It's like, ah, boy and his dog. You mean you'd eat the girl? Spoiler alert. I read that book way ages ago. I even met the author of that story, Harlan Ellison, wrote that story. A Boy and His Dog. Mm-hmm. Had quite a temper. He was a short fellow. He was a short Jewish man, and he would still terrify people because he was also very smart. Night's still young for you. It's 4:47 for me. We don't know what we don't know. That's the problem. We have no idea. Harlan Ellison, he did. And I got to talk to him. And I had read his stuff forever. It's dark stuff. Make no mistake about it. He wrote dark science fiction. It was always, there's a lot of post-apocalyptic. It was dark. But he was very smart. And of course, I love smart people. I love talking to smart men. And he was very interesting to talk to, and we got along fine. But there were people that absolutely warned me not to even try to talk with him because blah, 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 blah. And he took their heads right off. And yet, when I met him, he was nice to me. So there you go. Not a problem for me. But that's the way it is. Yeah, I talked to Harlan Ellison. Yep. I got to meet a lot of people when I was back doing conventions. You see, at one point I was doing conventions. I had been on all sides of doing science fiction and fantasy conventions. I've been the ComCon, I've been the fan, I've been the costumer, been the only side I had not been on is the actor in the science fiction. But everything else I had done, the vendor, all kinds of things. Yeah, I got to meet a lot of people, famous people, many, many famous people. The whole crew of the first Star Trek, the original Star Trek, then, original vintage Star Trek. I got to meet the whole crew. I got to meet most of the crew of the second Trek when it came back, and a whole bunch of other people too. I mean, being a vendor, you meet a lot of people because everybody comes to the vendor's place to get souvenirs and stuff to take back to their family. So that's where I met most of them, but some of them I met because I was on the ComCon. I met Billy Mooney, Danger Will Robinson, Billy Mooney. Very cute. My God, was he cute when he grew up. One of my friends was dating him. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All of that. All of that. I got to meet some of the people from Buck Rogers. I got to meet, yeah. Yeah. I never got to meet her. But Billy Mooney, I got to meet. I was surprised. I was very surprised. Redhead, a good-looking redhead. Handsome redhead. Yes. Well, very smart people know that they don't know everything. Bab 5. Yeah, that was a. I got to meet the doctor. I believe it was Bab 5. No. Did I get to meet anybody from Babylon 5? No. Unfortunately, no. I had gotten out of the business by that time and was doing something else. The doctor from Deep Space Nine, the black guy, cute in person, very cute. Couldn't believe it. I found myself on the dance floor with him. Then I realized who it was. I'm going, wait a minute, aren't you? And at that time, I knew his name. And he's like, go ahead. I was on a dance floor with him. Yeah, I found myself, I flirted. Nichelle Nichols, Lieutenant Uhura, um, you know, Healing Frequencies Open Captain, that one. I flirted with her son. I did. I flirted with her son. He was cute. Oh, you're right. He was as Veer. You're right. As Veer. I forgot. You're right. So I did get to meet one. Yeah, it was. It was my show. It was my life somehow. I don't know what life I led that life, but it was my life. In one of my lives. I lived through that. That was a memory. That show was a memory for sure. Somebody's memory. Not every detail, but yeah, in general. There was so much about that was like freaked me out, and I was like, this story is so familiar. Everything about it is so familiar. Although the aliens didn't quite look like that. Yes. Yeah, the Star Trek series. Then we got into Discovery and I kind of lost interest. I might want to see Picard. Picard might be cool. I don't know. Sounds like it might be cool. I haven't seen it yet. Yeah. Well, the original one did, yeah. Well, I think it was supposed to be Disclosure. And then they did not agree and they pulled it. They had to pull it because they had decided not to do that. I think it was going to be Disclosure. I have seen so many scenarios that were on Star Trek are real. I mean, a lot of things you see on Star Trek are freaking real. Oh yeah, a lot of people connected with it, but honestly, the Star Trek series was real, and of course the Star Wars series too. I'm sure that there were real aspects that all of these things were like tweaking our memories. Like, wait a minute, and your spirit remembers some of these things. Like, wait a minute, there was something like that. How could I know that, though? You start asking questions. But the original Star Trek kicked ass, really, when it first came out. Boy, did it kick ass. it beat everything else on TV, if you ask me, as far as interest, because the stuff we had was really not that interesting. The most interesting thing we had was Bonanza. You know, I mean, that was the deepest storyline we had on TV. Practically, there was Bonanza, and along comes Star Trek, which could be. Oh, and sorry, The Outer Limits and Twilight Zone could get very deep. Yeah, science fiction was where it got deep. None of the other stuff was very deep at all. So if you were a deep thinker, you were probably going to kind of go to science fiction. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I met him, by the way. What is his real name? I met that guy, the one who plays Picard. Didn't recognize him at first because he was smiling, and Picard hardly ever smiles. Ah, Chris. I beg to differ, Ken. Oh, that isn't. That is not available. Yeah, that's the only thing we don't have. Yeah, we may have the ship, though. They're just not telling us. I knew his real name, and I can't remember. I forgot it. I just got up to pee and eat some eggnog yogurt. Ooh, eggnog yogurt. Sounds good. Patrick Stewart. That's right. I met him. And I met the guy who played Riker. Did I meet Beverly, the one that played Beverly? I think I met her too. I met the Big Daddy's wife. Yeah. I met Gene's wife. She played number one in the very first episode of Star Trek. And later on, she played Nurse Chapel, Christine Chapel. Yeah, I met Gene Roddenberry's wife, Majel Barrett. She wasn't very friendly, though. Yeah. I didn't really get to talk to her. You know who I did get to talk to very briefly, though? Totally out of science fiction. This is not science fiction. I did get to talk to Ozzy Osbourne. But he passed out on me. I'll tell that story someday. Yogurt it is. That's right. Yogurt is good. Yeah, Patrick Stewart is still around as far as I know. I haven't heard of his death. And believe me, I know enough Trek fans. If he died, I probably would hear it. He'll probably be around a while. He's fairly healthy. But almost everybody from the original series is gone. Nimoy's gone. Shatner, I think, might still be around. DeForest Kelley, who played Bones, is gone. James Doohan, who played Scotty, is gone. I don't know if Majel Barrett still lives. I'm not sure. I think she does. I don't think I heard of her dying. But yeah, most of the original cast are gone now. I even met some of the players who played the side characters. Yeah, if Patrick Stewart died, because he's been in lots of things, you'd hear about it. Yeah, we'd hear about it. It's 5:01. Okay, that's it. We've been here nearly 3 hours. Ah, yeah, I heard about that. And James Doohan's ashes got shot out into space, as he wished. That's what I heard. Anyway, you know what, guys? I am going to get some shut-eye. And I will be on tomorrow for sure. And we will chat again. And my dear friends and family and tribe, as always, know that I love you. And I'll be back. I've got some things I want to watch too. And I'll probably fall asleep watching them. But when you do finally go to sleep, dream well. I love you. Truth is where you find it. Hope you're finding some here. And this is Ocean Making Waves. Go make some of your own. I love you. And I'll see you soon. We want to hear them all. Bring your stories.